Hi there folks, my name's R22 and welcome to a little bit of another look at I'll be honest, at a title that I had rather written off some time ago, but they have come forward in leaps and bounds. And they have just released this little gem for all of their users. So, of course, I am talking about Aerofly FS2. Oh, it's always gets me. It's such a damn mouthful, that title of it. Anyway, so for those who may remember, I did a very lengthy, in-depth look at this title when it first came out. So very sort of fairly early days of the production of it, when it was still in sort of early access, sort of essentially really just like an open beta sort of look. And I'll be honest, I was very, very disappointed. For the price point they were charging, it was not a good thing to see. But I've left it alone, but I've been persuaded to having a look at it because they've come along in leaps and bounds. And they've also just come out with their first helicopter. Now, not only have they come out with their first helicopter, but they've also set up with a brand new set of flight dynamics. And one of the things that was Aerofly FS2 was sort of criticized for was this very basic on its flight model of its included aircraft. This one is a different story. It offers actually two separate flight models, but we'll have a look at that in just a moment. So yeah, I'm here thanks in large part to my fellow Grumpy Simmers, MacLeod and Sergio from helisimmer.com. So Sergio got his professional nagger on and actually sort of definitely said to me that I should actually have another look at it, particularly here with the R22 coming out. So we are here, we're having a look at it. We're going to take it out for a quick test flight and explore some of the add-ons that are coming through with this content release. Because not only did they release the R22, they've also updated some of the airports and buildings as well, including some helipads. So we're going to have a look at those. But before we go into that actual flight, we're going to go in and have a look at what we actually got with our update. So let's jump into the menu here and have a quick look. So the basic menu of Aerofly FS2 hasn't actually really changed a great deal. They've re-updated the flight school a little bit, not too much. But the big change has actually been in the graphics. So this title is very much based around photoreal scenery, and it still doesn't have any AI traffic or multiplayer at the moment, but I think it's and that is a little disappointing. It would be nice to actually see that come along in the hopefully not too distant future. But the big change here is this Vulkan renderer. So this is a brand new, well, not brand new, it's a couple of years old now, this renderer, but it's only just starting to make its way into mass production now. And I tell you what, it is absolutely beautiful. That's the one thing that I have to say about this game. This simulator is actually absolutely gorgeous. There are some things that it doesn't do very well, some things that it does very, very well, and the graphics are definitely one of the things it does incredibly well. It looks absolutely superb both inside and out, and all the sky textures are just absolutely stunning. They really are. So that's sort of the main thing. That's one of the main releases that's come out, the main updates come through that one. There's also been a whole slew of other releases through from when I first looked at it, including the likes of Aerosoft and Orbx both coming on board and actually producing third-party content for it now. So various airfields are available for it now. There's also large amounts of extra countries and regions have been released for photoreal. Some for free, some are paid. So some information about that on their website. I'll put the link in the description down below. We've also seen a few aircraft come out. Now, obviously, the Robinson R22 is the first helicopter that's come out, and we'll have a look at that, as I said, just in a moment. But we'll scroll through some of the other new ones that have changed since the release that I saw. So that would be, as we go through here, so we've had a Strike Eagle come out. So this Strike Eagle is available in 3 different color schemes there. So I like the flanker, the aggressive flanker pattern. I really do like those. So the Strike Eagle, F-15E Strike Eagle is now available as well for this one, looking kind of impressive. Hornet was already in there, Corsair was already there. The Jungmeister is in as well. So this is a pre-World War II biplane sort of touring aircraft, or sort of touring aircraft. As it's sort of like the light sports aircraft kind of category, but very much a very aerobatic aircraft. So perform around the world, and a few of them still serving, still flying today. You get a couple of color schemes for that one, a couple of Swiss schemes, a couple of German schemes. I do believe that one is actually one of the pre-war schemes, I think. So there you go. So that's looking pretty cool. Learjet was there, 339 was there. I think the rest was here. Oh, Dash 8 Q400, that's the other one. So yeah, the Q400, which is just a beautiful aeroplane, it really is, and it's great to see it's come along here, because I love the Dash 8s, I really do, in all their forms. I personally have a soft spot for the 200, but the Q400 is one that you see a lot of these days, so you get quite a few different color schemes for that one, quite a few of the Horizon color schemes. That green one's just so obnoxious, it really is. Anyway, so you get very different color schemes here through this one. So again, kind of cool, kind of nice, and something that was sort of very suitable to what we see with some of the sort of, shall we say, some of the limited terrain coverages that this title has. And now, of course, we have the Robinson R22, which has come out. Now, the big thing that is a big difference that you may have noticed is this down here called this Profi mode. Basically, what that stands for is the professional flight model. So there are two flight models offered for the Robinson R22 in this one, and this is the only aircraft in Aerofly FS2 at the moment that offers this. So you get the basic, fairly user-friendly flight model, which is the one that we'll be mucking around with today, but you also get a professional flight model, which is designed actually in conjunction with real-world pilots and actual real-world flight training schools as well. So IPAX is getting very ambitious with this title. They're actually sort of, I see where they're going with this one. Now that they've got the graphics worked out, they're now looking further down the field, and they're looking at expanding their markets and breaking into markets that, quite frankly, that Lockheed Martin and Prepared have sort of had to themselves for a number of years. X-Plane a little bit, but yeah, but primarily it's sort of just been into their market. So it's interesting that they've definitely gone in here, because the fact of how well Aerofly FS2 works with VR is a huge deal. And I know if you head over to helisimmer.com, Sergio's has some experience with some of the hardware that's being able to be interfaced with Aerofly FS2, especially when it relates to helicopters. So some great articles over there. Definitely head over there and have a look. So yes, you get this one through with a few color schemes. Obviously, we are going to be flying the Australian color scheme today, but you also get a few American color schemes and a few European ones here as well. Of course, the obligatory Swiss one, because it is a Swiss company that makes this a wonderful sim. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But as I said, it's interesting looking at the professional flight model. So you know what? We should just have a look at the professional flight model, shouldn't we? Let's have a look at that one today. I was gonna sort of do a bit of a cop out today, but you know what? We should do the professional flight model. All right, let's engage it. Let's have a look. We're gonna do a quick little tour around the San Francisco Bay Area and have a look at a couple of things that we fly through. But let's engage the professional mode and let's get ourselves underway. And start. Alright, so we are back now with the professional flight model. So, yeah, basically what it does is it doesn't actually sort of start you, it starts you with the aircraft still running as it does with the normal flight model, but what it does, it turns off all the aids and stuff that the sim does in the background to actually sort of make your flying easier. So this one apparently is going to handle just like the real aircraft. So knowing my terrible helicopter skills, this should be very interesting to go through and see what happens. Alrighty, let's go through and get ourselves underway. We look at some of those beautiful graphics we look in the inside. Alright, let's jump inside the office of Robinson R22 today. Alright, and there we go, looking absolutely gorgeous. Like, it really does. As I said, like, this sim is just absolutely beautiful. It really is beautiful. It really is. Okay, I am going to, for safety, we are going to turn on our landing lights. Make sure they're on. Okay, everything looks good. Okay. Yep, everything looks good. Alright, okay, I think we're ready to give it a shot and see if we can take this off. Now I'm going to bring up my little map here. So we're going to go explore. We're going to explore the Golden Gate Bridge, and then we are going to explore a couple of the helipads that are available here since the upgrade of this one. As I said, with the addition of the R22, there also have been a couple of helipads have been added to San Francisco. I believe there's some have been added to New York as well, which is really good to see. Alright, let's enough waffling for me. Let's get ourselves into the sky. Woo. Yep, definitely a lot more challenging than the sort of more basic flight model that you you fly with by default. But also, I really enjoy the challenge, and that's actually, you know, that's something to be said for Aerofly FS2. As I said, like a lot of people have said, and there's one of the things that I commented as well was the fact that the flight model is very basic of the sort of aircraft that are included by default. So it is interesting to actually sort of see this more professional flight model being included, because that means that, you know, he said there's a lot that's going to be happening sort of in terms of the fact that the sim is actually sort of it's maturing, as it were. It's growing up with the fact that, you know, it is wanting to actually become a more full-fledged sim, and it does actually sort of, as I said, want to grow up, as it were, and actually sort of experience a lot more challenges and doing things like actually sort of, you know, upgrading, especially with helicopter flight dynamics. They're very challenging to do in sims. There's been some things to do for that one. Alright. I know one of the questions that sort of a lot of people are probably asking is that why put in a Robinson R22 of all the helicopters that are around? Why do it? And that's simply for actually a fairly simple reason. This is like the first sort of professional flight model that they put in here. It's the first helicopter they're putting in the sim. So they're essentially actually doing a dual sort of training setup. They're doing a training setup not only for us as the virtual pilots in Aerofly FS2 to actually get some experience with helicopters and how the helicopter flight dynamics work, especially for those who've been coming from, say, the Prepared and the ESP platforms, that the helicopter flight physics and flight dynamics are, shall we say, not the most accurate, not the most sort of, you know, don't necessarily teach the right things. And even X-Plane 11 is a lot better at flying with helicopters as well. It's sort of very different, and this one definitely feels a lot different from anything I've ever done inside of either ESP platforms or X-Plane. So I think it's a bit of a training exercise in terms of for us as the end users, sort of be able to get used to that, but it's also a development and a sort of a training tool for the developers to actually, as they get used to the idea of, you know, how to actually work with the helicopter physics and to get their practice in as well. So yeah, I think it's a really good option to actually sort of get in and actually do a few things. So yeah, I think it's a reasonable choice, reasonable decision for this one. I must admit, as sort of like looking over the scenery here, it is one of those things where, as I said, I have mixed feelings about Aerofly FS2, because, like, look at that, those sky colours and that sort of sunrise there just look absolutely stunning. But then it's sort of like the whole thing that, you know, I am looking at photoreal, which is flat. Like, there's a smattering of trees over there, but there's no buildings and there's no autogen. There's just, I just feel like it's, yeah, it just sometimes, and the fact that, and I know that's been commented by a few people as well, the fact that, you know, there's no AI traffic, so there's no boats, there's no living world, and that's something that really I know X-Plane tries to have it, but the ESP platform is definitely very much rule the roost when it comes to living world stuff. And oh yeah, that's right. There's a carrier here in San Fran, isn't there? That's right. That was always one of the things in the ESP platforms, wasn't it? In FSX and in Prepared, you can actually go visit one of the default carriers that actually sort of sits there. And just looking down at those like the container shipped yards and stuff like that, there, it's like I can see there's some buildings over there. But yeah, I look at that and just go, yeah. As I said, it's just frustrating because like it does spoil a couple of things, I think. All right, I'm going to try and turn with this. Some challenges. All right, don't want to climb too much. All right, so I don't know if they are the correct ICAOs, but they've labeled the two helicopter pads that have been added into this part of the scenery, at least. CA26 and 27, so we're talking about building a helipad in the city, and then we're talking about one on Alcatraz Island, so we're going to have a look at both of these today. While we're flying along, we'll have a look at some of these externals, sort of a bit more look over the 3D model of the R22 here as we're flying along. As I said, like, that 3D model is just absolutely amazing. Like, the way that the texturing and the lighting and the modeling are actually done for Aerofly FS2 is absolutely stunning. Like, it very much so is. Yeah, it is just so gorgeous. It really is. And as I said, this Vulkan graphics engine does seem to make it even more picturesque and even more beautiful as well. So I didn't know that was possible, because I did say I remember in my first review I did say it was a very beautiful looking sim, and it just looks even more beautiful now as well. Definitely having trouble keeping up with this now. I've got the distraction of like looking at the beautiful visuals as well. Seriously, just look at that. Probably don't look at the flying skills, but look at that picture. Like, that's just beautiful. Alright, we should probably jump inside so I can actually sort of focus on things at the moment. Alright, so we're coming in on helipad in this area somewhere. So I haven't actually, so this is probably a bad idea, but I haven't actually visited this helipad yet. So this should be interesting for me to find it here. So first time using the professional flight model, and first time trying to find the helipad that we are looking at landing on today. So it looks like it's going to be over here to the left. Oh, I do believe that would be it down there, I think. Yep, there it is. Descend and circle around while we descend. Alright, now this is where my terrible helicopter piloting skills are definitely going to come to the fore here. Definitely some of the challenging ring states and whatever, I think, maybe. Okay. Oh. Haha. Maybe. Nope. Maybe not. Maybe not. Nope. 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 Apparently not. Okay. All right. Let's swing that around a bit. Okay. Okay. Not quite. I can just feel all of the helicopter pilots and virtual helicopter pilots watching this video just cringing at the moment by this. And oh, that's going to be rough. But I managed to survive, so probably good that the damage model in this sim is not very good. And I'm teetering right on the edge here, I think. Yep, right on the edge. So there you go. So there's one. There is one of the helipad, the new helipads that's here. So we'll go have a look at the next one over at Alcatraz Island, and see if I can also do a terrible job of landing a helicopter there. But as I said, like, it's just beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. Sorry, it's just I got terrible flying skills. Alright, let's shoot through some of these buildings and then land over on Alcatraz. This is actually kind of fun. This is why I love flight simming at times, because sometimes you just have you can have so much fun just learning these new skills. So this is where some of the this kind of like these photorealistic cityscapes can come really well, because they've done a really good job here, getting most of the major buildings all sort of, you know, obviously modeled correctly and actually sort of, you know, placed in with all the landmarks. So this looks absolutely stunning. This sort of section of downtown, it's just those sections between the downtowns and the major cities that sort of, where it just looks very bare and empty, and that's where I sort of have my issues with the photoreal sort of cityscapes like these ones. But still, flying through here, this is pretty cool. Visually, as I said, this just looks absolutely stunning. I think if Aerofly could add in a living world, so actually sort of add in AI boat traffic, AI aircraft traffic, I think, I don't know, and maybe it open up to a platform like Join FS or something like that. Maybe they would be able to get some multiplayer going. That would be cool, because then you could do cross-platform with like ESP and X-Plane as well. That would be so cool. Weird, but so cool. Just, yeah, okay, and I just think it'd be nice to have the, like, you know, like the boats there, like, you know, down there. That'd be nice. Yeah, the boat yards, but not the boat itself. Whoa. Alright, so coming over, so there we are. We've got the Golden Gate Bridge over there in the distance. So apparently there's a triathlon here on the island, and the swim is from the island to shore. That would be so cool to do. It's part of the Escape series, funnily enough. It's like the culmination of the Escape series of triathlons. Like, that's so cool. Just circle around the island and then come into land. It's just such an iconic part of American history, really, isn't it? The prison here on Alcatraz Island. Alright. Alright, so we'll use our slow and steady, our patience. Now, that looks like their wind is coming that way. Now, I should be landing into the wind where possible, I believe. Okay. Oh, that was awful. Ugh! Not good. Not good. Okay. Alright, let's try that one again. Oh, that was a very firm touchdown. No even near the H. So yes, the professional flight model is challenging. Let's just say that. But still, though, looks absolutely like it. That's a lot. But that's part of the fun, the excitement of it, and the challenge of it. It actually is being challenged by that, and that's cool, and that's interesting. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I am actually going to, to prove that at least I kind of sometimes know what I'm doing. Let's try. Where are we? Here we go. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the non-professional flight model, and we're going to see if I can do that circuit around the island and not be as awful as I just was. Okay. Alright, let's try this. Let's see if I can with a bit of the help, with a little bit of help from Aerofly. Just gives me an excuse to do for another quick circuit of the Alcatraz Island here. Pretty sure there's smoke here. We've got a helipad here. The smokestack should probably have a light on it, just saying. Okay. Nice and gently. So the assistance that you get from Aerofly for the flights, for the helicopter flight modeling, is fairly significant, as we can see by the fact that I can actually sort of hold this a lot more stably. Probably also would help if I had a set of controllers more set up and more responsible for helicopter controls. That may help as well. But just because I'm pedantic now. I think it was a lot less firm, that landing. A lot less firm. So there we go. Okay. So, what do I think? So, as I said, this is a free update, folks, as well, by the way. I just want to make this clear. So, this is the Robinson R22 is a free update to all users and all owners of past, present, and future of Aerofly FS2. So, that's a fairly significant thing as well, folks, is the fact that this is a free update, including the flight model that goes with it. As I said before at the start of this, there has been a slew of new developers coming through and releasing content for Aerofly. So we've got payware content coming out from the likes of Aerosoft and Orbx as well. We have some freeware content coming out from a couple of developers. There's a D400 out for the fixed wing range for as a new aircraft. There's also some scenery I saw on the forums as well. And also, I've seen the fact that the one and only Dino Cataneo has released his CEO Machete M311. He's released that for Aerofly FS2 as well. So, Aerofly FS2 still has its issues, but the fact that they've added in this professional flight model and the fact that this cockpit is now fully interactive and you can actually shut this Robinson R22 all the way down and then start it from cold. Comes a long way. In fact, we should probably do that while we're here, shouldn't we? Let's do that, actually. Okay, we've got this one here. Alright, so, okay. Lean mixture, fuel cutoff, off, alternator off, nav lights off, strobe lights off, so they're still linked together. Okay, dim all the lights there we go, excellent, okay. All good, and we are going to now turn the master battery off. Okay, and we are going to pull the rotor brake. I think the only thing they haven't modelled is the door. Nope, they have not modelled the door. That's... Oh, there you go. They didn't model the door opening. That's awkward. But they did, as we can see, they have modelled everything else. So as I said, that's a big change. That's a big one. That's a big change for this one. So great to see the guys have actually come on board with that one and looking great for that one. So there you go. All right, folks. Well, that does round out my little first look, my first flight on with the Robinson R22 beta from the guys from IPAX and Aerofly FS2. So thank you very much for you guys for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.